In 1789, angry crowds in Paris stormed the Bastille, igniting one of history's most dramatic revolutions.
For over 400 years, the French monarchy had imposed the gabelle, a harsh tax on salt. That single tax placed a heavy burden on ordinary people and fueled growing public anger.
Salt was once far more valuable than the small crystals we use today. It financed kingdoms, supplied armies, and shaped powerful economies for centuries.
The Roman word salarium eventually became the English word salary. In medieval Africa, salt was sometimes traded for gold of the same weight. Today, it costs almost nothing, making its remarkable past easy to forget. The importance of salt begins with human biology.
An average adult carries about 250 grams of sodium chloride in the body. That is roughly enough to fill a small salt shaker. Salt helps muscles contract and allows nerves to send electrical signals. It also keeps the body's fluid balance under control. Without enough sodium, blood pressure falls, organs begin to fail, and death can occur within days. Long before chemistry existed, early humans understood that salt was essential for survival.
They noticed wild animals traveling great distances in search of natural salt deposits.
Deer, elephants, and mountain goats regularly visited places known as salt licks. These were exposed patches of mineral-rich ground, where sodium chloride reached the surface.
African elephants even crossed dark cave systems to reach hidden salt deposits underground. Using their tusks, they scraped the mineral directly from the cave walls.
People carefully observed this behavior and began following the same animal trails.
Hunters eventually discovered natural salt sources and started collecting the mineral themselves.
In present-day Romania, archaeologists found evidence of organized salt production dating back nearly 6,000 BCE. That makes large-scale salt production much older than the Egyptian pyramids. In China's Yuncheng Salt Lake region, humans may have harvested salt even earlier, around 8,000 years ago. These discoveries show that salt was already shaping human settlements and trade in prehistoric times. Finding salt in nature was only the beginning of the story. Turning it into a valuable trade commodity required new skills and better organization. People needed reliable ways to store, transport, and exchange salt over long distances. That process encouraged the growth of technology, organized labor, and government involvement.
From this point onward, salt became much more than a mineral. It evolved into a resource that helped transform civilizations.
The ancient Egyptians were among the first to discover that salt could preserve far more than food.
For mummification, they depended on natron, a naturally occurring mineral made mostly of sodium carbonate and sodium bicarbonate.
Workers removed the internal organs, packed the body with natron, and covered it completely, allowing the mineral to absorb moisture over nearly 70 days. Without this process, Egyptian mummies would never have survived for thousands of years, and their beliefs about the afterlife would have looked very different.
Salt was just as valuable for the living as it was for the dead. It preserved fish and meat for months, making survival possible in a world where refrigeration did not exist.
On the Nile, Egyptian fishermen stored salted fish inside clay jars,
while the Romans later created garum by fermenting layers of fish and salt in large stone vats under the sun. Because of salt, civilizations could store food, feed armies, and transport supplies across vast distances. Far to the east, China developed its own advanced methods of salt production. In Sichuan, communities drilled deep wells for salt brine, raised it through bamboo pipes, and boiled it in iron pans until only salt crystals remained. Some of these wells reached depths of more than 300 feet, showing an engineering achievement that was centuries ahead of its time. Salt production in ancient China was no longer a simple craft. It had already become a highly organized industry. Ancient Chinese salt production led to an unexpected discovery. While drilling for salt brine, workers noticed natural gas escaping from deep underground. Instead of ignoring it, they directed the gas through bamboo pipes and used it to heat the evaporation pans, making salt production faster and more efficient. In doing so, China became one of the earliest civilizations to use natural gas as an energy source. The success of salt production soon attracted the attention of the state. During the Han Dynasty, the imperial government declared a monopoly over salt and banned private production completely.
Anyone caught trading salt illegally faced severe punishment, including death. Salt was no longer just a resource, it had become a pillar of imperial power.
A government minister named Sang Hongyang strongly defended the salt and iron monopolies as the backbone of the empire's economy. He believed they generated revenue without placing heavier taxes on farmers, reducing the risk of unrest across the countryside. His policy proved remarkably successful, and salt remained one of China's greatest sources of government income for nearly 2,000 years.
Dynasties rose and fell, but the salt tax survived them all. The Romans also understood the strategic value of salt.
They built the Via Salaria, or the Salt Road, to transport sea salt from the Adriatic coast to Rome. The route kept supplies moving across the empire and ensured soldiers always had enough salt to preserve their rations. According to Pliny the Elder, Roman soldiers sometimes received salt or money specifically meant to buy it. That allowance was called salarium, the Latin word that eventually became the English word salary.
Every paycheck today still carries the linguistic legacy of Rome's salt economy. The Romans did not only trade salt, they also linked it with power and conquest. Historians question the story, but its survival shows how valuable and symbolic salt had become in the ancient world.
While Rome expanded its salt trade, another powerful network was taking shape across the Sahara Desert.
From around the 8th century, huge camel caravans carried rock salt from mines like Taghaza to the great trading cities of West Africa. The journey crossed one of the harshest environments on Earth, yet the value of salt made every expedition worthwhile.
Life in Taghaza was incredibly harsh. Most miners were enslaved people, forced to work in extreme heat with little water, while food had to be brought from distant settlements.
When Ibn Battuta visited the mines in the 1300s, he described them as one of the most miserable places he had ever seen.
Despite the dangers, the salt leaving Taghaza was worth a fortune.
Massive caravans, sometimes with thousands of camels, carried huge slabs of rock salt weighing nearly 200 pounds each toward Timbuktu and Djenné.
Sandstorms, dehydration, and bandits claimed many lives, but the enormous profits kept merchants returning for generations.
When the caravans reached the markets of West Africa, salt became as valuable as gold. In regions where gold was plentiful but salt was scarce, traders exchanged the two almost weight for weight.
They created wealth, strengthened kingdoms, and helped powerful empires rise across West Africa.
The Mali Empire gained enormous prosperity by controlling the southern end of the salt and gold trade.
The greatest beneficiary was Mansa Musa, the legendary ruler of the Mali Empire. During his pilgrimage to Mecca in 1324, he distributed so much gold in Cairo that its value reportedly remained depressed for years.
Behind that extraordinary wealth stood the profitable trade in salt, which formed the backbone of Mali's economy. While West Africa prospered from the salt and gold trade, Europe was building its own salt empire. The city of Venice had been producing sea salt since at least the 7th century, but its ambitions reached far beyond simple production. Venetian leaders wanted complete control over the Mediterranean salt trade. By the 1200s, Venice had secured a near monopoly over salt across much of the Mediterranean. It purchased salt cheaply from coastal producers, stored it in enormous warehouses, and sold it at much higher prices to kingdoms that depended on the supply.
Rivals who challenged Venetian dominance faced economic pressure or even military action.
Salt became the foundation of Venetian wealth and influence. In 1378, Venice fought the War of Chioggia against Genoa, with control of Adriatic salt production at the heart of the conflict. Victory strengthened Venice's grip on the trade and helped transform the Republic into one of medieval Europe's richest powers. Salt profits did far more than enrich Venice. They financed the powerful Venetian navy, while the navy protected the trade routes that kept the salt business thriving.
This cycle of wealth and security helped turn a city built on mudflats into a dominant Mediterranean power.
Farther north, the city of Salzburg built its prosperity on a different source of salt.
Its name literally means salt fortress, reflecting the vast salt mines hidden beneath the nearby Alps. These mines had been operating since the Bronze Age and produced enormous wealth for centuries.
Archaeologists even discovered the preserved body of an ancient miners inside the Hallstatt salt mine, along with their leather backpack and tools. The dry, salty environment protected his remains for nearly 3,000 years, much like natron preserved the Egyptian mummies. By the medieval era, these alpine mines had become one of the region's greatest sources of wealth.
The enormous income from these salt mines transformed Salzburg into a center of wealth and influence.
Local archbishops used the revenue to build magnificent Baroque churches and palaces, while also funding the armies that defended Habsburg territory.
Salt strengthened both the region's economy and its political power for generations. In 1597, the Spanish rulers of Naples introduced a new salt tax, placing even greater pressure on an already struggling population. After that, the response was immediate. Angry citizens rose in revolt against the authorities. Protesters attacked tax officials, burned government buildings, and briefly seized parts of Naples before Spanish forces crushed the rebellion. Although the uprising failed, the Salt War of Naples became a lasting reminder of the dangers of taxing a resource people could not live without.
France faced an even greater crisis because of the gabelle, the kingdom's infamous salt tax.
Gabelle. Introduced in the 1300s, it became one of the most hated laws in the country during the 17th and 18th centuries.
To stop smuggling, the government relied on the gabellus, a special force responsible for enforcing the salt laws.
They searched homes, inspected travelers, and arrested anyone carrying untaxed salt.
Imprisonment. Thousands of people were punished every year for salt smuggling, making the gabelle a daily reminder of royal oppression. Although it did not cause the French Revolution by itself, it became one of the strongest symbols of injustice in the eyes of ordinary citizens.
When revolution finally erupted, hatred for the salt tax was already deeply rooted across France.
Even after the French Revolution, salt continued to influence the course of history. During the American Civil War, shortages crippled the Confederate States. While in 1930, Mohandas Gandhi transformed salt into a powerful symbol of freedom through the historic Salt March.
Once again, a simple mineral proved capable of shaping the fate of nations. The Industrial Revolution changed everything. Modern mining methods, vacuum evaporation, expanding transportation networks made salt cheaper and easier to produce than ever before. A resource that had once determined the rise and fall of kingdoms gradually became available to almost everyone.
Today, hundreds of millions of tons of salt are produced every year, with most of it serving industry rather than the kitchen.
History shows that power often belongs to those who control essential resources. For centuries, that resource was salt.
As technology made it abundant, the power it once carried slowly disappeared, proving that no empire or economic system remains unshaken forever. The next time you pick up a pinch of salt, remember that you are holding far more than a common seasoning. You are holding a mineral that once built civilizations, funded armies, inspired revolutions, and shaped human history for thousands of years.
If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to subscribe and let us know which chapter of salt's history surprised you the most.